Not only you are about to take such an important step, my gorgeous Scorpio, listen to me very carefully. Not only you are going to take such an important step when it comes to this week, but at the same time, you are most certainly gonna do one of the greatest things ever. Why? On one hand, you are doing the right thing. On another hand, you are going to embrace your own uniqueness, and something is about to awaken within you, my gorgeous Scorpione. Something is about to happen to you, and you are going to open your eyes, and you are going to realize for the first time in your entire life how passionate you are about something really specific. This is the time of your life when things are finally going to start changing, and most importantly, you are going to pretty much so have this great sense, this amazing sense that you are heading towards the right direction. Yes, there are gonna be some kind of like uncertainty, but this is not going to affect you in any way, my gorgeous Scorpione, whatsoever. So what am I talking about here? Okay, let me tell you, at the beginning of this week, you are going to make an important discovery. Okay, at the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Scorpione, you are going to make an important, ridiculously important discovery. This discovery which you are going to make, what are you going to find out, is gonna require from you to look deeper into something, really specific. And at that moment in time, oh my God, you are going to have a reason for celebration. Because what are you gonna realize? It's gonna be out of this world, like ever so important, like oh my goodness. So you are literally going to have a reason for celebration. This is how happy you're actually going to be. And I think, in fact, you are actually, how many times I'm gonna say this bloody word? But you are going to have on your mind like a certain people, like almost immediately, who you want to kind of reconnect with, or who you want to talk to, who you want to share your happiness with. Seriously. Okay, and if that happens, the first person who pops into your mind has got a very important information to share with you as well. But going back to, you making this discovery, and then you're going to realize that you need to look deeper into something. And at that moment in time, my God, you're going to realize something so important. And this in itself is going to give you a reason for celebration, because now you are the reason why is you're gonna realize how much was something actually preventing you to move on in life, how much was something affecting you. Okay, only now you're actually going to realize this, because at this moment in time, when I said that you need to look deeper into something, this is gonna lead towards like you having this powerful realization. But most importantly, at that moment in time, you're going to release fear. Okay, and this fear which you're going to release, it's like this was like holding you back. This fear was restricting you. This fear was making you feel trapped. This fear was making you feel restricted. This fear was making you feel like you're backed into kuna. This fear was making you feel like your hands are tied behind your back. All this is gonna come up. This is why this is so important. So you are gonna be able to release this particular fear, my gorgeous Scorpione, and that in itself means that at that moment in time, instantly, you are going to regain your composure. You're going to regain composure, which means that all these fears and all this like kind of you feeling like you're backed into kuna affected you negatively not that long ago, when something inspired you so much. It's to do with this inspiration that made you feel so so good that you were able to kind of connect to, and it brought so much of like a positivity into your life, so much of this rejuvenating energy, so much of like a healing at the same time. But it's just about this inspiration that you came across, you know. You need to understand that this inspiration, you couldn't do anything about it. So now immediately it's all about that inspiration which you've had and what exactly inspired you in the first place, but you felt ever so frustrated because you just couldn't take this on. I repeat something very important. I repeat something very important, and I will repeat something very important right now. It doesn't matter whether you started something really important and big already. Doesn't matter if you're like a fully successful and you don't need to do anything. Do you know what I mean? People say like lots of things, you know, all sorts of things that are going in people's lives. But the bottom line is that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life right now. It doesn't matter if you already became aware of some kind of inspiration. It doesn't matter if you're really busy. It doesn't matter if you're really successful. This is something that you are really going to become aware of, regardless what's happening in your life, regardless what's going in your life. This is the path that you are pretty much so going to need to make. Very, very important indeed. So now just remember, it's to do with this inspiration, and that inspiration made you feel extremely, do you know what? That inspiration made you feel extremely creative, but at the same time it made you feel extremely calm as well. Absolutely mind-blowing in so many different ways, and that means that there is so much more to it than what you actually originally thought. Okay, so you don't need to like kind of try to work out, because everything is what this is, because everything is going to happen organically. Just remember, you're going to make a discovery immediately. You're going to be reminded of this inspiration which you've had, and it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, how busy it is, or what you're planning to do and things like that. This in itself, it's very, very important. And now that particular restriction, it's about to be lifted. Okay, so you are also going to start becoming extremely intuitive, and you are going to start seeing things, my gorgeous Scorpioni, like literally crystal clear. You will see exactly what I mean, baby, because on the 11th of March, on the first day of this week, you are going to have a mind-blowing spiritual experience as well. A very beautiful, mind-blowing spiritual experience is going to help you to reconnect with yourself within the spiritual terms. You see, you will see what's missing in your life when it comes to your own spirituality, and that's the way to be, baby. That's the way to go, baby. But then on the 17th of March, on the last day of this week, you're also going to have like a really beautiful experience when it comes to one specific person in your life, and that particular person is going to like kind of suggest something to you that you should do something, and this is really going to surprise you, but it's really going to be very, very interesting, because first of all, you're going to find this really surprising, but like about a few weeks down in the line, this is absolutely going to make sense so beautifully. I think it's to do with somebody in your life who is extremely, extremely psychic and spiritual, like kind of themselves as well. So you should not kind of ignore what that person is going to tell you whatsoever. But going back to the beginning of this week and that discovery that you're going to actually make, so now that you're just going to, you know, this is to do with your own truth, okay? So it's all about now having a structure and routine. You have to be very, very smart about it as well. But at the same time, there is somebody who is going to also give you like a very, very interesting advice as well. And who is going to give you an interesting advice when it comes to all this is just somebody who you completely trust, and somebody who is very intelligent, and somebody who's also like kind of spiritual at the same time. So somebody is going to give you like a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant advice. And this advice that you're going to have, it's also going to be so important when it comes to you, like a really pretty much so like kind of knowing a way to give your full energy to, you know, and what to exactly to start with and what to pay attention to. And there is something that you're going to find out when it comes to this advice that you wouldn't like kind of pay attention to, which is going to be very interesting. And also, my gorgeous Scorpioni, Another thing that I want to mention, do not waste your time. Listen, do not waste your time making an unnecessary compromise. Just remember this. Like someone is going to be pressurizing you. Some little bastard is going to be pressurizing you to make some kind of like a compromise or something like that, that you're going to feel, oh no, I'm not too sure, like a bit reluctant to do. So, this is what I'm going to say. Don't do what you don't want to do, okay? Don't do things that you don't want to do. And I know it's easy for me to say. It really depends who we speak to and what's going on in our life. Yeah, I get all that. But you need to understand that, do not make an unnecessary compromise. Don't waste your time, or don't waste your time by making an unnecessary compromise. What you actually should be focusing on right now, is planning for the future. This is what you should be focusing on, and everything else is going to come to you naturally and organically in terms of like which path do you need to follow. There is going to be a very interesting sign you are going to have at around the midweek. It's going to be such an interesting sign which you are going to have, and when you have that sign, you just kind of need to understand that you will fully understand that you are, when you have this sign, my gorgeous Scorpione, you're really going to understand somehow that your third eye is like open, and that means that you are extremely, you're going to be extremely like kind of intuitive when your third eye is open like this, So this is what you're going to realize, but at the same time, you will somehow know that divine intervention is about to occur, because you're going to be feeling this, you're going to feel like you're being guided, and at that moment in time when you feel like you're being guided, just remember that happiness is your purpose. Just remember that happiness is your purpose. Happiness is your purpose, baby. Just remember this. And also, when it comes to the midweek, my goodness, a really beautiful moment, a really nice moment, I have to say, to be quite honest with you. You are reaching your goal, okay? So there is going to be a really important information, okay, there is going to be a really important information that you're going to have, and you're going to find this extremely rewarding, because this information, it's all going to be about you. Oh my God, you're reaching your goal, and now it's about you paying attention to the fact that you need to expand your horizons as well, because it's not only about reaching your goal and expanding your horizons, but this is a really kind of going to make you aware of the big changes and opportunities that you are going to have, and this in itself is going to put you in a mode how much you want to jump into it. You need to be as direct as you possibly can, but this in itself is going to have such a powerful effect on you at such an amazing time of your life, because it is going to make you like a really kind of strong and assertive, and at the same time you're going to become extremely decisive at this stage of your life, and you're going to realize exactly what you want. It's to do with your passion, but it's also to do with things that make you feel like active. It's to do with like things that make you feel energetic, and it's to do with the thing, with some kind of a beginning of a very, very special journey in your life. It's to do with your passion, but it's also to do with the fact that you are gonna need to make a really, really quick decision. This in itself is pretty much so gonna be super beneficial when it comes to your finances, financial situation, and your stability as well. But also you are gonna need to understand that you're gonna need to be patient a little bit, but then at the same time what you need to do is like, this is all about you directing your will. This is all about creative visualization, my gorgeous Scorpione, and manifesting your dreams indeed. So this is what you need to pay attention to, because now it's all about you directing your will indeed. By the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Scorpione, it's like now you are pretty much so going to, on one hand, on one hand, you're really gonna feel like how much you want to move on. You're gonna have this moment, and you're gonna be standing or sitting somewhere, and you're gonna be thinking, yo, I feel like I want to move on, and you're gonna be in this mode where you're going to be thinking about several things, and you're going to realize how much you want more kind of out of life, what you are experiencing at the moment, which is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. It means two things. On one hand, you have found yourself on a spiritual quest. On another hand, you're choosing to make a big life changes. But then again, at the same time, you just kind of like need to understand that now is the time to follow your heart more than ever. Because at around the end of the week, there is also going to be a bit of like a negative change in circumstances which you are going to have. Now, when it comes to this negative change in circumstances, my gorgeous Scorpione, what you need to do, you're gonna need to release something that has caused you so much pain. And this in itself is going to be obvious at the end of this week. I mean, I'm not being funny, do you know what I mean? So you kind of having this negative change in circumstances, because this is going to require from you to kind of release certain things that caused so much pain. This is actually going to be such a powerful time of like your own cleansing, to be quite honest with you. The time of transition, the time of change, and it's all happening suddenly and unexpectedly, and that means that you're gonna feel even more powerful when you're doing this, and you're gonna be even more effective, because this is gonna happen completely spontaneously. Just remember, when things happen in a spontaneous way, you know what, they're actually the best, like literally, because we don't have time to think, we don't have time to prepare. So the best comes from a big mama at the back of our mind, from our subconscious mind. It takes over and responds in a way we wouldn't normally respond, and this is when things become very magical, because at the same time we very often question ourselves after, why did I respond like this, why did I respond like that? Because you had to. You responded with things that you already had planted deep within yourself, so now you're projecting this onto the world. But it's just more complex than that. These things are gonna come out only at the time when they need to come out, only at the time, with another words, when we are ready. Now you're ready, my gorgeous Scorpione. This is gonna be absolutely mind-blowing indeed. And there is gonna be like, oh my God, like you're gonna feel like you need to make some kind of a painful choice. But this is purely because, this is gonna come to the surface when it comes to this painful choice that you're going to need to make. And that in itself means that you are going to need to have an important conversation with somebody whom you have kind of fallen out, or you just became very, very distant. But you're just going to find this is a painful choice, because I think it's a bit more than just becoming being distant with somebody. I think that something happened in between you and somebody else, and both of you were left with a kind of a bitter taste in your mouth, my gorgeous Scorpione. So there is going to be like a painful choice that you're going to need to make, because you're going to need to talk about something really important to somebody who you don't want to. There you go. I should have said it like that, maybe. A painful choice of you talking to somebody and discussing something important, and you're going to be worrying about it. You're going to be, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then when you go to talk, you're going to be so surprised what is actually going to happen. The whole thing is going to end up to be completely different. And I'm telling you, you're going to realize like, oh my God, if I didn't go to talk, I would never find out what I actually did find out about myself. The conversation is going to end up to be completely different, and it is going to work in your favor in so many different ways, because something is going to happen here. My God, you're going to tap into certain subjects, and you're both going to be taken away. And once that happens, you are going to open your mind like nicely, like never before. And there is something really, really specific that you are going to realize about yourself, which you would never realize otherwise. And this in itself, it's to do with some kind of a talent of yours. And it's to do with some kind of untapped talent. Now it's time, my gorgeous Scorpione, to even start consider that very, very seriously. I know it doesn't make sense, like when it comes to everything that I said so far, but trust me, in about 5 or 6 weeks time, everything is gonna start making sense like never before. Okay, my gorgeous Scorpioni babies, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.